Are you thinking about living in an RV full time, or are you already living in an RV full time and you're watching YouTube videos trying to figure everything out, but you're wondering why things aren't going the way that you expected, or you're really just not able to get all the answers that you need? I'm gonna tell you why you need to stop watching YouTube videos and 3 things that you can start doing today to get your RV living journey off in the right direction. And if we haven't officially met, I'm Blogging Brandy from Rversity, a university for RVers. And if you want to learn how to RV like a pro, I'll teach you everything I know. Just be sure to hit the subscribe button and bell icon so you're notified each and every time I publish a new video. So the other day I put out this video about how I started my RV living journey as a digital nomad and all the things that I did to quit my job and transition into RV life, this mobile lifestyle. And I got this comment on my video from Brandy, which gave me the idea for this video. So it made me feel like I'm talking to myself, because Brandy said, I love music, I like all kinds. It's like nature, my soul needs it. And getting rid of this stuff, I've got so much in this RV and I don't know how to organize this thing. 39 feet, it's got me so crazy. And Brandy, there's so much about this RV life that I don't know what to do. It's been since July. I've watched you, sent you a couple of comments. I should have watched more, and the money from the house sale is about gone. So much I don't know. I most definitely have the shiny object thing going on. Okay, Brandy, I love this question. Thank you for submitting it. It really makes me think about myself when I got started and I had no idea what I was doing or what I was diving into and what my RV life became, but that's why I created Rversity, my online program, and I have a community, and I actually give you a roadmap to navigate this whole RV life thing that you're trying to get into. RV living is a transition, it's a different place. But the first thing that I do walk my students through is that you need to plan for your RV life. So I transitioned from a job in finance into my RV lifestyle now. So I quit my job in finance, and I used to sit down with people and actually plan out their retirement. So we would sit there and we would write out and say, hey, what do you want in retirement? How much money do you think you're gonna need? Let's account for inflation. I've always been used to being a financial planner, and I always call this having your RV life planner in check, because you're essentially planning for RV life. You're not just planning for retirement. Instead of planning for years and years away, you're planning for not too far away, depending on how long it is before you get started RVing. So the first thing we talk about is planning your RV life, and we set RV lifestyle goals and figure out exactly what kind of lifestyle you really want to live. Are you going to be living in your RV solo? Are you going to be traveling with people? Are you going to be moving? Do you need to be moving? What type of job do you have? Is stationary RV living maybe something that you should think about, living in an RV park for a little while before you take off traveling? It's something I wish that I would have done, and I learned a lot about my RV while living stationary, which I talked about in a previous video about my motorhome living pros and cons. I traveled for 5 years constantly and then decided to live stationary in my RV, and it was actually because of COVID and everything else. But I talk about planning for your RV life. So you have to have your RV lifestyle goals and figure out what type of RV lifestyle are you going to be living. Moving, stationary, people, pets, people with disabilities, if they're going to be with you. Then you need to think about budget. I talked about my RV living budget and how much it cost me to live in my RV here at the RV park versus when I was traveling, and some of those RV living costs in this video here, which you can check out. But I really broke down the cost that it cost me to travel versus live stationary in my RV. So living stationary in my RV is way cheaper than moving around in my RV full time. And one of the things that I did when I did financial planning is when people retire, they often have been trapped in this job and they've worked this job for all these years. And so the first thing that you really want to do is blow some money. And we call it fun money, and there's different names for it. But when you retire, what you're doing when you go into RV life is essentially retiring. You're retiring while working. So it's a little different, but normally what we do is you're diving into this new lifestyle, and what you're going to want to do is spend money. And you're actually going to have to spend money on your RV. Anytime you buy something new, a car, a house, anything, you always have to spend money. So you need to assume that when you get the RV, you're going to have to not only just spend money on the RV, but you're going to want to do stuff. You just got this RV and you're going to want to go do fun things. So when you're planning your budget, you have to put all of that fun money ahead at first. We always tell people, put extra money in advance that you think you're going to need, and this is outside of any kind of emergency fund or extra money that you might have. This is literally just money that you can blow. So setting your lifestyle goals is part of planning for RV life. Getting your budget together is part of planning for RV life, and choosing the right RV. We don't even really cover buying an RV until way later. The first part is you do need to have this thing that you're working towards. You want to pick an RV that you think you might want, and I do talk about choosing the right RV and which RV is right for me in another video that I made that you can check out here. And I talk about the different types and sizes of RVs that may or may not fit your lifestyle. So you got to remember, when you're diving into RV life, especially if you're taking your business on the road and working on the road, then you need to think about making sure that you're buying something to live in. This isn't just your weekend getaway and, oh, I'll make it work. I thought the same thing. I thought, oh, I'll be okay just putting that couch down or turning that table into a bed and changing things around. And I did that I went from my travel trailer to my van to now my motorhome. And the reason that I bought my motorhome is because after going through all these RVs, I started to figure out my motorhome was more of a fit. I didn't have to tow my smart car. I could put it inside. I had this extra space that we're in, which is the garage / my office. In the front, I don't have to worry about laying down if I'm traveling. I don't have to worry about putting my bed in and out. I can just lay in my bed or go upstairs and lay down. And then I also have a dinette in the front, so if I want to eat or even go use the bathroom, I don't have to wiggle around if the RV can't be. So when I was traveling, I was worried about how can I be in the RV without having to have the slide outs out or anything else. But now that I'm stationary, some of those things don't matter as much to me. But I always think of my RV as in not just living stationary, as in how can I go out of here. So everything that I buy is portable or inflatable or collapsible. So I do plan my RV life, and I planned to buy this RV, this motorhome, around my lifestyle. So planning for RV life includes your lifestyle, your budget, and choosing the right RV, obviously. The second thing that I talk about with RV life and my students is funding your RV life. So one of the things that you mentioned, Brandy, is that you sold your house and things are falling apart. When you sell your house, you do get that money, and so you have to make sure that that money is going to last forever. You have to consider, whenever I was planning for people and they were going into retirement, they were essentially quitting and they weren't going to have a job or any kind of income coming in, or they were on a fixed income, or maybe they were getting money from a 401k or a pension or whatever, IRA, whatever they've set up. One thing that I talk about a lot in our Versity is not only saving money, but making money. So there's two parts to it. And saving money is also before RV life and while you get into RV life. So there's a lot of things that I didn't know about saving money in RV life. One of them being RV clubs and membership. If you know you're going to be traveling somewhere, or you know you're going on a certain route, it's really good to invest in some of the RV clubs and memberships that are going to save you a lot of money. So that's one thing that I didn't really take into account. I was like, oh, why am I going to pay for this membership? But I saved up to 50% on campground stays and different things. Now, there are some memberships that are more like timeshares that I would totally not get into. But before you get into RV life, there's lots of things that you can do about saving money. The first thing I would do, and anytime I was doing retirement planning, I always found out what people spent their money on by honestly going through their checkbook. I would look at their bank statements and I would look at their transactions, and I could tell you exactly what they were spending and what their priorities were. I saw people spending $500-$600 on car payments, and I'm thinking, you understand you could have an RV for what you're paying for your car. Saving money on things like Subscriptions, if you have these subscriptions that you're paying for that you really don't need, necessities, I would start cutting out anything that's not a necessity, okay? So paying for your RV is important. Making sure that your credit is on point is important. So saving money also means like not spending money on credit cards, not running up all these bills that you don't need. So Netflix, you don't need. SiriusXM, you don't need. Checking your phone bill and seeing if there's ways that you can reduce your phone or internet bill. Cable is something that you don't need. I don't pay for cable. I have free satellite. I have an antenna up front that came on my RV that I use, and even when I had my house, my condo, I didn't have cable. So I really have not paid for cable in a really long time. Internet is honestly the most important thing for me, and I talk about how I get my internet in my RV, both on the road and off the road, paid and free, in this video you can check out. I really have just learned all this from diving in, but I learned the hard way. I spent a lot of money, I wasted a lot of money, and then I started figuring out how to save money. So I've always been a saver. So you always want to look and see, what can you take out of your monthly expenses? What can I eliminate? What am I spending money on? What is not needed? Like, if I take this out today, will my life still be okay? Always also make your minimum payments on your credit card bills. And if there's a way that you can roll your credit card over to a 0% interest loan, or another credit card that's 0%, you can save on credit cards and bills they are already trying to pay down today. These are like little things that you kind of figure out when you start doing financial planning for people, and you look at their finances. You start saying, okay, look, I really think that maybe we should wait to RV. We don't have enough money in the bank. Or, hey, maybe we need to think about multiple streams of income. One of the big things that I teach my students is multiple streams of income and mobile money. How to make mobile money, how to create your mobile money machine, income that you don't have to worry about. So if one income stream is gone and depleted or not working, then the other one is still bringing money in. When I did financial planning, we always were worried about multiple streams of income, even though we might have not pitched it that way. You have to think, if you're retiring and you're going into RV life, maybe you have money coming from a 401k, maybe you have money coming from a pension, maybe you have money coming from savings, maybe you have money that's coming from your little hobby that you do on the side. Those are 4 streams of income. So that's what I mean when I say multiple streams of income. So like, if your 401k stopped paying out and you weren't earning out of that anymore, or the pension wasn't, or say you were married to a spouse and your spouse passes away and you don't have that income coming in, those things can all create a burden. Or if you get divorced, anything can happen. So funding your RV life, we talk about saving money over at RVC. I teach my students ways to save money both before and after getting into RV life, and then making money. I did talk about how I make money on the road in multiple streams of income, the ways that I make money on the road, and some ways that you can make money on the road in this video here that you can check out. I'll put a link to it in the description so you can watch that after this video is over. The third thing that you need to do is prepare. After we've talked about planning and funding, then you can actually prepare for your RV life, because now you know what you're preparing for. When it comes to preparing, there's 2 things that you need to do. The first thing is that you need to downsize. Brandy, one of the things that you mentioned was that you had a 39-foot RV and that everything is crazy and you don't know how to organize and it's making you crazy. So the key is downsizing everything that you have and then mobilizing your life. I talked about how to downsize and how I downsized and my RV living must-haves in this video here that you can check out. I really downsize constantly. No matter what size your RV that you're in, you're gonna have to be downsizing, and you also need to think about the weight. So you're limited on space, and if you have more weight in your RV, which means you have more things in your RV, it costs more money to move the RV. So you have to pay for more fuel to move the RV around. And downsizing, just keep in mind that there's a lot of things that you don't need in your RV that you think you might need, and there's a lot of things that you use in your home that you would never use in an RV, and vice versa. And I mentioned everything I have in here is portable, mobile, pop-up, collapsible, inflatable. So my boat collapses, my inflatable paddleboard, inflatable hot tub, inflatable boat, collapsible buckets, everything you could think of I have that is multifunctional and saves space. So the mobilizing part of it, you can't mobilize if you don't have these things in place. And some of it, like, you'll start out buying things at the dollar store or using things that you already have, and then as you get into your RV life, you just start gradually changing these things out and upgrading your lifestyle or the things that you have in your RV and making them more RV friendly. It's taken time for me to get here. I didn't just dive in and buy everything for my RV. I still have towels that I used from my home before, and I've changed those out over time, but I keep those as like raggedy towels, so I don't just throw things away. I try to be resourceful about how I can reuse things in the RV. So downsizing, mobilizing. Mobilizing includes your mail. So you got to have your mail mobile. You got to figure out how you're going to get your mail. You need to figure out how you're going to get insurance for health care or prescriptions or seeing the doctor, going to the dentist, things like that. If you have a dog or a cat, you know, you might need to think about how are they going to go to the vet, how are they going to get their medications. So you have to plan if you're going to be in your RV or traveling, how you're going to do that. Think about your documents online. So you have to mobilize your documents. You're literally putting your entire life online and figuring out how you can make your life mobile. There's several things that you have to do. And I did talk about the downsizing and mobilizing a little bit more in this video here about how to prepare for RV living and all of the steps that you really need to take. Mobilizing is something that you really need to do before you actually mobilize, even though I know that sounds weird, but you can go ahead and get a UPS box and have your mail sent there. I already have done that for my business. You can go ahead and get your health insurance to be a mobile health insurance. You can go ahead and start getting all of your files and everything online. Just organizing your life and your house and downsizing to fit into RV life. And then if you're already RVing, maybe you just need to stop and stay stationary for a little while, put the brakes on RV life, slow down a little bit, and reorganize, reevaluate where you're at and figure out, hey, this is working, this isn't working, and what you need to do to maybe make some changes in your RV life. So now you know why you need to stop watching YouTube videos and 3 things you can start doing today to make your RV life a breeze. But I know what it feels like to get started both before, during, and after you go through the process of living in an RV. So if you want someone to give you a roadmap and show you all the directions and have a tour guide, then make sure to check out Arversity, my university for RVers. I'm going to drop a link to it below this video so that you can book a call and learn more about it and see if it's a fit for you. If you like this video, hit the like button below. Be sure to subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you're notified each and every time I publish a new video. I'm Blogging Brandy. Until the next time, make sure to check out these videos next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.